Albert Biermann. For those that know who he is, this man is an absolute legend. For over 30 years, Biermann was at the helm of BMW M, and there he was responsible for some pretty legendary sports cars like the E46 M3, the E39 M5, and the 1 Series M. But in 2015, Biermann jumped ship to Hyundai, and as a result, we have high-performance Hyundais like the i30N, the Veloster N, and the Elantra N, all of which are pretty outstanding sports cars and make complete sense for Hyundai's performance ambitions. But now, Biermann has something else for us, something no one really expected, and maybe even something no one really wanted. Who would have thought that I would mention Hyundai and BMW M in the same video, but here we are. Left foot on the brake, gas all the way down, launch control ready, and release. Oh man. My name is Omar, and this is the 2022 Hyundai Kona N. So, the Hyundai Kona itself is a pretty popular vehicle for the brand. Last year, Hyundai sold more than 90,000 units of this tiny little SUV. I mean, CUV, this is definitely not an SUV. An SUV is like that Jeep Wrangler in front of me, but that number is still pretty impressive. Now, most people that buy the Kona are looking for an affordable, tiny, fuel-efficient vehicle that can get them from point A to point B in the most unenthusiastic way possible. And with a starting price tag of around $21,000 and up to 32 miles per gallon combined, the Kona definitely checks that box. You even have a fully electric Kona that will do an impressive 258 miles on a full charge. Well, it seems like Biermann wanted to break every rule possible and completely reimagine the Kona. The Kona N that I'm driving here makes 286 horsepower, it gets a combined 23 miles per gallon, and it sounds really angry. Like, a little too angry for a tiny little CUV. I love that sound. You got snap, crackle, and pops, all that stuff. That said, I can't imagine any of the 90,000 plus Kona buyers ever saying, man, I wish I could get a stiffer suspension and lower fuel economy. Honestly, I can't even imagine anyone interested in buying a Veloster N or a Elantra N thinking, maybe the Kona N is something that's a little bit more me. So why does this performance CUV exist as the latest addition in Hyundai's N lineup? Let's find out. Let me give you a quick tour of the Kona N. We'll take a look at the outside, we'll take a look at the inside, we'll listen to the exhaust, and then I'll give you my opinion on why I think this exists and whether or not if you should consider buying one. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. All right, let's go and do this. All right, so the Kona N has a variable exhaust system, so let's take a listen to that first. Now, before we get into talking about the interior quality, design, and space, let's start off with the tech first. The Kona N comes with a 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster, which is really sharp and packed with lots of info. My only problem is that I feel like it's set back a little too far. I wish it was a little bit closer. That said, this gauge cluster also has a bunch of really cool animations when you circle through your drive modes, and the N mode has its own really cool animation. Check that out. That looks super dope. In the center, you have a 10.25-inch touchscreen display. Now, this is very similar to all the other Hyundai infotainment systems. In the Kona N, you get navigation, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto as standard, so that's pretty solid. However, since this is an N model, you have an N mode screen. Once you hop in here, you have a home screen with a bunch of information like your throttle, oil, and engine temperature. You can also get access to some of the popular racetracks, which is pretty cool. And then you also have access to your lap times and your acceleration if you want to do a 0 to 60 run. Swipe right and you're brought over to another screen where you can check out your G-force meter. This is also the place where you go in and activate your launch control. And you can dig into some other performance options to customize a few other things. Now, as you saw a few seconds ago, the Kona N has a few drive modes, including Eco, Normal, Sport, and Snow. But you also have two custom modes that you can set up right here in the N mode screen. You can go through and customize your engine, steering, suspension, transmission, limited slip differential, your traction control, and your exhaust sound. But one of the coolest things is how you access these custom modes. On the steering wheel, you have two blue buttons with an N on them. Now, these buttons provide an easy way for you to access your N mode, but they also double as shortcut buttons for other settings. If you hold down either of them for around 3 seconds, you can go through and set them to be the buttons to activate your custom 1 or custom 2 modes. You can set them to circle through your drive modes or start and end your lap timer. That's pretty cool. I have the left N button to activate my custom 1 drive mode and the right button to activate my custom 2 drive mode. And then you also have this red button labeled NGS, which stands for N Grin Shift. If you push it, that will activate the overboost function and increase your horsepower to 286 for 20 seconds, which should be enough time for this CUV to take over all the Karens on the road. Alright, so let's talk interior design, quality, and comfort. Now, most of the interior is pretty much like the regular Kona. In terms of quality, not much has changed in the Kona N. Since the Kona itself competes in the affordable CUV segment, don't expect too many high quality materials in here. You do have some soft touch here on the dash and on the door panels, but besides that, you have hard plastic surfaces. However, I've said this before and I'll say it again, Hyundai has a way of making even their more affordable cars feel pretty high quality. Even though there is a heavy use of plastic around this cabin, it still feels very, very well put together. Now, since this is the Kona N, you have some upgrades including these N Sport bucket seats. They are really well bolstered and really hold you in place. The driver's side seat is automatic, while the passenger side is manual. However, both are heated as standard. And then you have this updated N shifter with blue N color accents. By the way, you'll see the N blue accents all over this interior along with the N logos. You have N right here on the side sill plates, and you also have N badged floor mats. All right, let's talk space. The Kona N gets 35.2 inches of legroom in this second row. I'm about 6 foot tall. That is my seating position. As you can see, it's a bit tight for somebody my size. And actually, even though this is a CUV, the rear seat legroom is tighter than the Elantra N, which gets 38 inches. So if second row space is your concern, you might want to go for the Elantra N over the Kona N. However, if it's cargo space that you're concerned with, you will get more with the Kona. Once you pop it open, you get a total of 19.2 cubic feet behind the second row. And with the second row folded, you're looking at about 46 cubic feet. So it's pretty spacious. All right, next up, let's quickly take a look at the exterior design of the Kona N. And obviously, it's much more aggressive than the regular Kona. On the front, you have a pretty sharp looking grille and wider lower intakes. On the side, the coolest thing you'll notice are these N-specific 19-inch wheels that are wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires. And then when you come around the back, it really starts getting beefy with this giant rear diffuser and a massive dual exhaust system. Right here on the top, you'll notice the double-winged roof spoiler. I'm sure that provides some kind of downforce, probably not. And one of my favorite N touches that Hyundai makes are these triangular brake lights. I love these. These look really cool. But the only thing you don't get on the Kona N like you do on other N models is a sunroof. So you can't get a sunroof on the Kona N. So yeah, the Kona N costs $12,700 more than the starting price tag of the regular Kona, which is quite a bump, but everything you've seen here so far is standard. You get LED headlamps and LED daytime running lights as standard. You also get LED taillights. These 19-inch wheels are standard as well. Hop inside, and again, everything here is standard. You get the N Sport bucket seats that are heated. Tech-wise, you get the 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster and the 10.25-inch touchscreen display with the N Grin control system. You get navigation. You also get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. They are not wireless though, they are wired. Sound system-wise, you're working with an 8-speaker Harman Kardon sound system that actually sounds pretty good for a car of this price range. You also get a wireless charging pad, and you get the Hyundai digital key in case you want to use a smartphone or the card that comes along with it to unlock and lock your car. Driver assist tech-wise, while you don't get adaptive cruise control as standard, you do get a bunch of other things like forward collision warning, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, driver attention warning, and much more. And you get a rear view camera, but no 360 camera. Now, before I give you my opinion on how the Kona N drives, let me point out a few important daily usability features that I love to show all of you. You have 4 cup holders, 2 in the front. You also have a bottle holder on the side of each door, and you have 2 in the back for a total of 4 real cup holders. And here are what the keys look like to the Kona N. You have lock, unlock, remote start, your panic button, and you have a nice little N logo on the back right there. Door open and close sound from the outside and from the inside. pretty much what I expected. It's solid. Charging game-wise, front passengers are working with a wireless charger and 2 USB-A ports. You don't have any USB-C ports in this thing. And if you're sitting in the back, you're gonna have to fight over 1 USB-A port. And of course, you know we have to do an indicator and horn sound test. Let's do it. Indicator first. Same old Hyundai indicator. I haven't honked it, and I'm not expecting anything outstanding here. Oh, wait. Oh man, that's solid. I expected it to be something that sounds like a Civic. That's good. You know what I need after that walk around? 20 seconds of grinning. So let's hit the N Grin Shift button and go. You know, I can't tell you why this exists, but I can tell you that it will leave you smiling every day that you drive it. It's 20 seconds of pure joy and killing bugs. Oh man, wait, I just said that it would leave you smiling without even thinking about it, and I have N Grin Shift on. Man, that marketing really works. Look, the tiny crossover segment is definitely not the most exciting one. You have some really, really boring options out there, and I guess the Kona N is here to just spice things up. What you have here is the same 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine from the Elantra N and the Veloster N. It makes a total of 276 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque. Using the N Grin Shift for 20 seconds will boost that up to 286 horsepower. And this 8-speed wet dual-clutch transmission is brilliant. It shifts so freaking fast. Just take a look. 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 4, 5, no problem. 4, 5, 6. It's amazing. And this thing can definitely handle like its other N siblings. This has the electronic limited slip differential, which Hyundai actually calls N corner carving differential, which again, marketing, you know? But my God, does that make this thing handle like it's on rails. I never would have thought that I would be carving corners like this in a Hyundai Kona. Jeez, this thing grips. This is fun. And the funny thing is, you can have the same fun in a Veloster N or an Elantra N, but this is just a little bit more unique. You know what I imagine? I imagine a group of 3 friends. One has a Veloster N, one has an Elantra N, and one has a Kona N, and they just go out tearing up the streets, Fast and Furious style. Such a fun group of grinning people they would be. Now, in terms of 0 to 60, this will do it in around 4.9 to 5.1 seconds, which is pretty similar to the Veloster N and the Elantra N. And that's not surprising because the Kona N with the DCT weighs pretty much the same as its other N siblings. I'm honestly surprised just how similar this drives to the Veloster N and the Elantra N. Bierman and his team are definitely a crazy bunch. How's the ride quality? Well, let's just say that if you're going to be using the Kona N as your family-friendly crossover, you and your family are probably not going to be too happy. The ride is very, very stiff. This sport-tuned suspension will keep you bouncing around non-stop. So yeah, this Kona N is definitely not the Kona that you want to get if you're looking for a daily driving CUV. But I do want to do a real-world test. Let's go over some uneven surface in normal mode. So I'm in normal mode now, and we're gonna go over some uneven surface, an overpass that's a little bumpy in the Kona N. Actually, not that terrible when you're in normal mode. Now approaching uneven surface in N mode, and I'm scared. Just watch my whole life fall apart. Oh. Let's do another one. There's another overpass, underpass thing coming up. Oh my God. Oh, that hurts. Yes, it's extremely fun when you're pushing it and letting loose, but the stiff ride isn't something that you'll enjoy when you're making a quick run to the grocery store. Sure, you'll get there quick, but it just might be a little painful. Or maybe I'm just too old and someone young watching this video is like, shut it, you old geezer. But even then, this is the most expensive N model in Hyundai's lineup. Both the Elantra N and the Veloster N are around $2,000 cheaper. Sure, you'll get more cargo room for your trips to Costco with the Kona N, but again, if you're looking for a vehicle where you'll be carrying people in the second row, well, the Elantra N will give you more second row legroom. But yeah, that leads me back to my original question. Why would anyone buy this? Why does this exist? Well, just like Albert and his team, I'm going to say, why not? And just enjoy that this exists. I don't think Hyundai will sell a ton of these, and I think they know it. This is one of those vehicles where 5,000 people will get excited, and maybe 20 will buy it. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace. At least it'll keep you smiling. I just got cut off by a Buick Encore. No, Buick, not today. Didn't think the Kona N could do this, did ya? A lot of people just get super surprised that a Kona passed them sounding like this. The whole N Grin thing is definitely something I understand, because this leaves you smiling all day long. Oh my God, but it is so stiff. Ouch.